It's just not. No.
And
we're
we're live.
They almost seen the behind the scenes
Yes,
right there, didn't they?
did.
We're having a unscripted conversation. Hey, welcome back to Winning Together. Today's sponsor is Charlie's Choice Steak Seasoning. I took that stuff out to Texas with me on my Texas trip, and even those Texas boys out there said that, you know what, this is the best seasoning I ever had on a steak. Now, here's why why he's the sponsor.
Okay.
I like Chuck, but number two, we're gonna put Charlie's Choice on our website. Smith, can you get that? Can you put it on there? We're gonna start retailing Charlie's Choice at billymerritt.com/store.
Interesting.
Yep. So
Okay.
how many? Here's a good good question, a good little trivia, or I guess it would be more of a contest. How many bottles of Charlie's Choice can I retail in the next 12 months?
We'll see.
We might go straight to. We might stop.
Well, we have like 10 cases in our pantry, don't we?
It's already have inventory. Inventory solved. Problem solved. So what I'll do is I'll retail it, and between Charlie's Choice seasoning and Billy's Big Bang fireworks, we may just, sell the marketing company.
We really don't talk about fireworks again today.
We're going to talk about it. What's up? How are you doing?
I'm good.
So what's on the agenda today, Smith?
Paul would like you to talk about the challenges of both of you working in sales and one thing you would recommend to others to help them pick up when they're in a slump.
Okay. So first of all, we are both in sales. And if we don't sell something,
We don't make any money.
we don't get paid.
Yep.
Now that is some stress that a lot of people can't deal with. You talked about on the last show, being willing to get out of your comfort zone and things like that. And 6-7 years ago, we weren't both in sales
No.
because you did like the idea of a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Or that
I thought I did.
Yeah, I'm using air quotes, security.
Yeah. Well, probably 9 or 10 years ago, because no, longer than that now, 12 years ago, I was a single mom, and I felt like I had to have something on Friday to make sure that the boys were okay.
Right.
So.
That's right. And a lot of people are in that situation. There's nothing wrong with that. However, this has been my mission to help people and to let them and to help them understand that the ability to sell and to close deals, whatever deals that is, that's much more security than a regular check. Because once you know how to sell, once you know how to close deals, you'll always have money and you'll never be without work.
And if I had known then what I know now, my boys would have been so much better off than me taking that tiny little paycheck on Friday that I thought was helpful. And it was for a short time, but I could have done way more with my time than sit and work for somebody else.
Yep. Now, so let's talk about the stresses of both being in sales. I talk a lot about sacrifice, and when I used to work till 10 p.m. every night, and I was 7 days a week, and I was working all the time. But that's because during that time we didn't have that cash stockpile. We didn't have the security. It was a must do.
Yeah.
I had to produce. So I had to do whatever it took, meaning 7 days a week, 10 o'clock at night, things like that. So that's so important to get to that point, because it's a totally different situation now. Now, if you don't sell a house this week or next week or this month, it's okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and
it's okay financially. It's not okay with me.
Right. So, but as far as advice though, which Paul was asking, here's the advice. If you're in sales, take it seriously and train daily, learn some skills, read some books. There's a lot of things you need to do so that you're always producing, because once you have that skill set, your income will be higher than, in a salary position.
Yeah, but you do have to put in the time for, if you're commission only, you're going to have to put in the time to get your money where it needs to be. like you work till 10 o'clock. I worked 5 and 6 days a week in Waycross. Missed a lot of things. But we did it.
We did. And what do you do when you're in a slump? How would you recommend someone? You've worked with people who are maybe in a constant slump, but people, someone who's got some skill, who's trying, but they run into some challenges and they're in a slump. How do you get out of a slump?
You just got to keep going. And I mean, that's the only thing you can say is just, as they say in baseball, keep swinging, keep trying. And mine, I said on another show that I had on a furniture show, mine is, I like music. So I play like my favorite songs on the way to, used to play my favorite songs on the way to Waycross and get out of my own head. Like it's okay. I mean, you're going to hear no an awful lot in sales, and you do have to get used to it, but it's hard.
I tell you what, though, I think that, and there's persistence. You got to have persistence. You're one of the most persistent people that I know, and that's why you're successful. You're able to you'll grind through a tough situation, and even if you don't feel good about it, you'll grind through it and do the things you don't want to do. But I know that there's actually some specific things you can do when you're in a slump to help you get out of a slump. One thing is help someone else close a deal. Don't worry about the money, but if you're in a slump, a lot of times you've heard no about a lot of times, and you're struggling when getting the yes, and you're so especially you, and probably this is probably a lady thing. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but you're very emotionally attached to that deal, to hearing no. Right. So so the next one, you're even more emotionally, I got to get this one. So you're just like kind of forcing it. Whereas if your fellow salesperson, they're struggling with one, you can see that they need help if it's the type of person that understands that they'll be happy for you to help them. Like in the car business, people love for me to help close deals. And I'm sure in furniture and things like that, your other salespeople wouldn't mind you helping them. So if you'll go help that person, go take that TO, that's called a turnover, where you turn it over to another salesperson. You go take that TO and you close that deal for them because you're not emotionally attached to that deal. It doesn't matter if you get that deal or not. You want to help them. But the thing is, you always get that deal. When you're closing for someone else and you're not emotionally attached to it, you'll get that deal. And now you got your mojo back and you're out of that slump. Paul Sullivan, excellent question. Excellent answer. What do you think about that, Smith?
I love it. This is actually something I've been thinking about recently. I've been trying to get out of that beat block slump. And one of the best things you can do to get out of beat block is write something quickly with no expectations. Don't even plan to post it. Don't plan to use it for anything. If it turns out great, cool.
Beatbox. You're a beatboxer.
Beat block. Like when you feel like you can't finish a track.
Kind of like writer's block.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Now, I see you had the what is that called?
The home of the week background.
Yeah, you got the background up there. Home of the week.
I do need that picture if y'all are gonna send it.
He's already sent it to you.
Yeah. It's on Facebook.
On Facebook. All right.
If you can find it, that's fine. If you can't, that's fine. Now, this is a very special home of the week. Let me. I recommended this home of the week.
Yes.
Now let me explain why. Because this is not for sale. This house is not for sale.
No, but
this house is not for sale. But when you're a designer, you're an interior designer, you're a real estate agent, and you from the blueprints, the floor plans, all the way up designing the house and every part of the process, that is your expertise.
Yes.
And so what I wanted you to talk about, not buying or selling a home, but when you are designing your own personal home. Okay. Were you able to find it, Smith?
No, sir. I don't see anything.
That's fine. Just look in my Facebook Messenger.
Already.
And I sent it. Kind of might have sent it to myself, but
I seen where you sent Jamie some stuff earlier.
Okay.
Okay.
You pop this up.
Okay, those must be it.
So this is our home. We're gonna put up there. There's a couple of pictures that I want to show. and I want you to talk about what people need to consider if they're building. I know building's really expensive right now. If they're
Yes.
remodeling, if they're planning their space, and colors. Let's just, if you can pop it up there, we'll put a visual with it. He's trying to find the.
I'm trying to find the mouse.
Did you find it?
Our,
Don't know why
our
it's
backyard, but it's not up there yet.
Yeah.
that's weird.
Well, you can find it, Smith. But let's just talk about in the planning phase. What's the first thing? What's the first thing that you have to think about when you're actually building or remodeling, trying to get that space just right?
The first thing that I always tell somebody is we talk about what you're going to be doing here. What are your goals for your home? Are you going to be entertaining? Is it more for you? Do you need an outdoor area? Do you need a bigger family room? Do you want a crazy laundry room? Do you need an office? Really, how you're going to use your house is the first thing you start with.
It's like the functionality.
Yeah. How many children do you have? How many bedrooms do you want? I mean, that sounds simple, but a lot of people haven't even asked themselves that question when they start looking at plans. But
as he makes this a little bit bigger right there, let's look at a lot of people have complimented me on the exterior of this house because it has tell us, there's bricks, there's stone. Let me shut that door. Can you shut that door too, Smith?
Bricks, stone. We also have hardy on the house, and I chose black windows because I thought that was they're really cool.
So how do you choose what materials you're going to use just to give it that look? Because that's definitely a unique looking home.
Well, a lot of people don't choose that because it is not the cheapest way to mix all of those things. You and I talked about pulling back in some areas, but we ended up not doing that because you didn't want to. To me, that's what gives it the depth and the character, and being different from everybody else is all those different elements.
So, but now you don't have to go all out. You can pick one wall. Is that right? You can pick one area and make it a feature area.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people do it around the bottom of their house. Ours happens to be crazy tall. So it looks even more massive because we did the brick around the bottom because of just the land and everything else. And I wanted those pretty front steps.
Right.
So,
can't really see them on there.
No, you can't, but just whatever's important to you. That was super important to me to have. And I think the only one that's been up there so far, Trevor's prom pictures on the front porch, but
let's check out the other photo right there. We'll talk about it real quick on this home of the week. These are some things you need to consider when you are building or buying or remodeling. So if someone is buying, what questions? Well, I think you may have already answered, but recap. What questions should they be considering that maybe they're not considering? Like, this is my backyard, which is ideal. I love every part of this. You know what I'm saying? The pool house, the pool, the entire area with the covered, the covered porches and things like that. What some areas that they should consider when it's time to buy or remodel or add on?
Some areas,
or just some ideas. When you look at this backyard, with your professional designer, what's some things that most people may not think about?
How much room do you have back there to do this? How big is your lot? Do you want an outdoor kitchen? That's what's coming out from the back of our house is our outdoor kitchen, which was very important to both of us. The inside of your house, if you're buying, you probably do want to have somebody like me or a designer come in there, because you can make a big difference in the existing house by moving just a wall or two or something that doesn't take a lot of remodeling, but it just changes the space. I did a house in Baxley, and they had me come over, and they had this tiny kitchen, and I suggested knocking the whole wall out and taking those U-shaped kitchens, old 70s U-shaped kitchens, just rip all that out. Don't confine yourself in there. And I wish I had a picture of that. They now have this big, huge, beautiful kitchen by simply taking a wall out. And opening the space. So lots of things you can do that maybe your eye doesn't see, but a professional's would if you're remodeling.
All right. And Paul has a question on here, but it's actually giving me another question.
Okay.
Paul's question is, what is a common mistake that many sellers make when trying to sell their home? So if you can go ahead and answer that, and then I have a follow-up question.
A common mistake is that number one, y'all know it drives me crazy that you don't clean up your space. That's a crazy, crazy, crazy thing to me. Cleaning things out and making them open is much more appealing to somebody, even if they collect junk in their own house. It's way more appealing. The other mistake people make, now, not necessarily in this market, but sometimes, is nobody likes your house as much as you do. So a lot of people try to get a little more than they should. I mean, it's your house. You can try to sell it for whatever you want, but not everybody is gonna want your house. And the main thing I've seen a few people do lately is go in and paint and put carpeting and stuff like that in. I would just take that off of the price of the house. I would not do that unless you just have nasty carpet and the worst colors possible, because your new buyer is most likely going to change all of those things.
Right.
I would never probably leave a house the way that it was, even if it had just been freshly painted. It probably wouldn't be my color.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So, good answer. Now, follow up to that. I know when you've been helping design customers actually plan or pick out the right floor plan, you know, a lot of people don't consider. You mentioned it about the layout of their yard there, but a lot of people might pick the wrong house for the wrong lot.
Yes.
You know, it matters how wide your house is. These things seem common sense, but we see it all the time.
Well, you know that I had the plan that was my dream house at the time, and I was determined that I was going to build that house. Well, when we got this lot that we love, it was just too big. I mean, even though our house looks big on this one, but that house was too wide. It would absolutely not fit, no matter how we tried to make it. So if I had just started and said, I don't care, I want this house, it would have looked ridiculous there. The other side to that is people, you need to have a professional look at your plan too, because I also have a friend that built a house that she said, I just didn't know it was going to be so little,
Right.
you know, and I can look and tell you what that room's going to be. The family room is the size of more like a master bedroom, not a family room. And so many people build their family rooms too small, and they don't realize that they're small.
Right.
And little things like that you can make adjustments to before you start building doesn't cost you more after you start building, except a little bit more material. But when you have to tear out walls and change footers and everything else because your rooms are not big enough, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
So something can be too big for a lot. Something can be too small. The space inside can be smaller than you think. I know by reading dimensions how it's going to feel.
Absolutely. And you have that eye for it, because when we built this house, we're talking about the placement of the house and different things, and things I didn't think about, or things that would have looked a lot different if I'd have, if you hadn't been making the decisions on some of those things. So,
and we took a lot of, you can't really tell here, but we have no windows in the back of our house except on Chloe's room and Trevor and Chloe's bathroom. Like the rest is doors all the way across.
Glass doors.
That's made a huge difference, because we love to be outside, and it feels like you're outside even when you're inside, which was my goal.
That's right. Having your goals prioritized before you get started. That's a good way to put it. Thank you for Robert Brooker and the other people commenting. Paul's got a question before we move on to my choice topic.
April, how long did it take you to design your house?
Well, I'm actually probably still not finished, but but we started March of 19. Is that right? I think it was March of 19, and we moved in February of 2020. So it was almost a year of building, designing, getting it there. And then I probably spent another 6 months to get it where it is right now. And I kind of just quit. Number one, I spent a whole bunch of money. And number two, even I get blocked if you try to do everything at the same time. So now I'm in the stage of I'm going to start adding a little bit more stuff. I want to get the study perfected a little bit. And so it takes a long time, even for me.
You have beat block.
I did.
Okay. All right, let's move right along to my favorite part of the show.
Yes.
You got it.
Billy's choice topic. Guess what I'm going to talk about today?
I heard a little bit about it. It's a story, isn't it?
Really? Oh, that's going to come up.
I'm sorry.
That's my second favorite.
Okay, I'm
part
sorry.
Of the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. I don't know.
I got all these parts of the show now.
I don't know what
Thanks
we're
to
going to
Paul.
talk about.
Hey, Suzanne, thanks for coming, or thanks for showing up, watching the show.
Hey, Suzanne, thank you.
Great person there, great friend. Okay, so here's what
Very
I want to talk
loyal
about.
person. And you know I love that.
Yes, you do. So it's not fireworks.
Thank you. I don't want to talk about fireworks.
It's not Bitcoin.
Good.
How are you feeling about Bitcoin right now?
I'm not feeling good about Bitcoin.
Okay.
You suggested that I buy some, and I lost money the first day.
But
So
I also suggested that you didn't buy any. You just got to pick what time to listen to my financial advice.
right. Trust me, I
Okay.
will.
So here is my choice topic.
Okay.
A trillion here, a trillion there. Before long, you're talking about some serious money.
Oh gosh,
I'm not going to dive into it,
No, we're
but we're
not?
just,
Okay.
not totally, but we're just, I'm going to segue into it.
Okay.
All this crazy spending is ridiculous, and it will show up. It will show up in the prices.
It will.
Inflation is going through the roof, so I hope you're prepared for that.
1.8 trillion. Is that what
An
they
additional,
said? Yeah.
in I forget, human infrastructure. Anyway,
Yeah.
but here's what I'm doing to fight inflation and high prices. I need a little bit of help with it. Okay. I have 2 1,200-pound Black Angus steers
Oh god.
that are ready for slaughter. And I'm going to sell one of them if somebody wants to buy one of them.
Okay.
But I'm very excited that I have grown my first Black Angus steer, and it's time to eat the steer.
I want to eat the mean one. And
He's
I
mean.
said I wasn't going to eat any,
He's so
but I
mean.
want to eat the mean one.
They're so mean. You just think about that when it's time to eat that steak.
Oh, I'm going to eat him.
Okay. So I think that, well, I know that. First of all, I got to find somebody. If you know anybody in South Georgia area that's not backed up for 2 or 3 months, because
I forgot.
all these abattoirs are backed up, because everybody, or a lot of people, are thinking like me. You better get you some cows. You better raise those cows. You better kill your own meat. Number one, no antibiotics, no steroids, no medicine or like that. They hadn't had any medicine in a long time, so they're all natural, ready to eat, healthy cows. And I think it's gonna taste just delicious. Some homegrown Broxton
I'm fine with it
Angus.
because he's mean.
He is mean. He'll try to get
He
JJ.
will try to get you. Yeah, you don't try to get JJ.
So who
If y'all were
else?
wondering.
Who else is growing their own beef? If you're growing your own beef, let me know. If you have a garden, let me know. Buy Beef Billy.
What happened to the donkey that wanted to mess with JJ?
I hit that donkey upside the head. But anyway, I want to share we need one for our bunch. Okay.
Okay.
Tell you what, Veer, you can buy one of these cows, and but we have to find somewhere who can butcher and process the cow. I need help finding somewhere in South Georgia that butchers, processes the cow.
I forgot to
I think.
message this morning.
Yep. So that's my thing. You better start growing your own food. That's my choice topic.
Okay.
What do you think about my choice topic?
No, that's okay. That's a good topic.
Moving right along. Where's the beef, Robert? There comes some beef. He said, she said.
No
Yeah.
doubt. I'm liking these. Number
Funny.
one, your son just broke something valuable in your home. How do you handle it?
Beat his ass.
And you know what's funny about this? They said your son. Your son.
Uh-huh.
Because you would have never said that if it had the female version there. Because now it's true that he don't believe in spanking, but for some reason popping them in the back of the head and kicking them is okay. Only if they're boys, though. Only if they're boys.
You're going to get me in trouble on here.
No. It's like, honestly, it would probably be at our house why it was broken. I mean, if it's an accident, you ain't spanking nobody.
No.
You ain't spanking anybody anyway. But
I mean,
now me, not so much. I believe that you should spank your children, but not him. But if they didn't mean to do it,
yeah, that's no big
oh
deal.
well, we're not those people. Now, if you're throwing a kicking a kickball or throwing something across my living room that you're not supposed to be doing, then maybe it would be a little different story. But now, I mean, they're also old that what would we do? Take their keys or something? I mean, like, what would we even do? Make them pay for it?
Tackle them, hog tie them.
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah, you would tackle them and hog tie them. Yeah, that would probably be it. But
No
we
big
don't.
deal.
We don't get into that. I mean, we don't have something that's.
Ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, we don't really care. We're kind of easy in that area. Now, our children may disagree with that, but
I'm sure if they commented, they would give a little different.
they would say something about ping pong balls, probably. But anyway, let's move on.
They better not tear up my ping pong balls.
Yeah, no, they probably won't ever do it again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pick just one: roasted peanuts, boiled peanuts, or chocolate covered peanuts.
Boiled peanuts.
Well, and if you think about it, that sounds gross, doesn't it? Boiled peanuts.
It's not gross.
No, they're delicious. They are delicious.
Especially at a ball game.
Yeah. Yep. So same page. This is boring topics. Boring topics.
We're not even fighting today.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I'll find something to fight about here in a minute. Hey, Angel Williams said the old butcher shop in Pearson did some hogs for us. So will somebody reach out to the old butcher shop for me and see if they'll process a cow? Angel, please call the butcher shop and then hit me back.
All right.
They're about 1,200 pounds each.
Are they that big?
Yes.
Gosh. Are we doing all three?
No, one of them's a bull. We got to sell him.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
What's next?
Describe your spouse as a golf club
Mhm.
and why. Examples:
I
driver, wedge, putter, etc.
Oh my goodness.
I'm ready for this one. You better go first.
Okay. Well, if you're mean to me after this, then that's on you and everybody else watching.
All
But
right. Better pay attention.
I would definitely say you're a driver because when I don't, I work out. I don't want to work out. I do not want to work out. I just do it because I want to be healthy and I want to play with my grandchildren one day and I want to be on the beach when I'm 65. I'm just going to be honest. That's why I work out. But sometimes I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't want to talk to an aggravating tail customer.
Mhm.
And you say, you got to do it. Let's get up. Let's just get it over with. Let's just get it done. So you drive me to do things that are out of my comfort zone and things that I don't want to do.
Sweet. Thank you.
So now go ahead and punch me in the gut with yours.
I'm not going to punch in the gut. It's going to sound like I'm going that way for a second there.
All right. Well,
Those of you who know anything about golf clubs know
that I should never hold one. So
Yeah,
that's one thing.
but you are a one iron.
One iron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. One irons. They are very difficult to handle. But if you get it right, it goes a long way.
Oh, that could be true, but then there's more than one iron in that bag. I don't know enough about golf to pull that, but I think we both have our hands full.
You think so?
Yeah, and probably people would think that I have mine more full than yours.
Only if they only knew.
Yeah,
If they only knew.
Yeah,
You get to see the bright side of April. And
I forgot to look
her
ahead
show.
at these questions, so
Okay.
I now don't have one.
What's next?
If a movie was made about your life, what actor and actress would you like to portray the two of you?
Well, we all know that you're going to say that George Clooney would have to be you because that's what people say like that you look like. And then who is the person that you say I look like?
Taya Leone.
Yeah.
So, George Clooney and Taya Leone. Have they ever done a movie together?
I don't think so, but
Yep.
he always says I look like her, and that's so funny to me.
Yep. Or it could be, it could just be like Ocean's 11. They've already done it.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts.
I look like Julia Roberts. I don't even look anything like Julia Roberts.
I think she'd do a good job of playing you.
Okay.
What do you think?
Are you saying because she has a big mouth?
Now that you mention it. But Burt Reynolds would be the second the second choice.
You have such a man crush on Burt Reynolds.
Now
Like
what?
it is a serious crush that you have.
I so wish I had met that man before he died. That's like one of my regrets as far as people I didn't meet. Yep, Burt.
He loves him some Burt Reynolds, and he wants me to love him. But now I just don't do stashes and body hair. Just are not attractive.
If you would let me grow a mustache,
no. Oh, you've done it before. It did not have the same effect as him, but no, I don't like it anyway. So I'm not a good judge. I'm sure that some women on here are disagreeing with me right now that he's so handsome, but
he's a stud.
Didn't do it for me.
Burt was a stud.
Didn't do it for me.
Next.
You and your spouse are stranded on a deserted island. What 3 things do you hope you have with you?
Airplane.
Well, I don't think we'd be stranded if we had that.
Boat.
But gosh.
What 3 things? So I guess we have the necessity. We have food and water.
We do have food and water.
Okay, yeah. This is our show. We have food.
Okay,
and water.
we have
food and water. Okay,
okay.
and we have shelter. We have
food, water, and shelter.
Food, water, shelter. You know, I gotta have some cervezas if I'm gonna be on the.
I know you was about to say that.
I gotta have some cervezas.
That's
number 1.
Not gonna last very long on the stranded on the island, but I'd have to have like a hammock or something that I'm not on the ground trying to sleep.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, you really don't like the idea of that at all, do you? Sleeping on the ground? Because that.
And I'm trying to figure out how a portable shower is going to get on this stranded island that I'm on.
What if they didn't have
soap? I would want soap.
But you know what? We have no razors with us.
Oh, no. Razors and soap would be a necessity, or I wouldn't make it.
We have no razors. So I'll have the mustache. I mean, I'll have the mustache.
That goes 2 ways, buddy. Yep.
Hey, razors. We both want razors very bad. So razors, cerveza. You know what? Got to have a radio because eventually some way to play music. Eventually you're going to get tired of me singing to you in the morning.
Yeah. Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually I'll figure out you're already tired of it.
Yep.
All right. That was pretty simple. Okay.
Yeah. We didn't even argue on that.
Nah, not too bad. What's next?
Billy's recommended reading.
All right. And you already have it up there.
Yes, sir.
The Alchemist. So I read a lot of books. As you know, I read a lot of books. And I've been reading for a long time. I actually asked you to read this book one time. What did you think about The Alchemist?
It was a great book.
It's
been years and years, but I read it in one day.
Yep. So the cool thing about The Alchemist, it is a fiction story for those of you that don't like the boring nonfiction. The Alchemist is about Santiago, who goes on a trip to find himself and to find he's on his quest. There's a term for it. His legend. He is seeking his personal legend, and I identify with that. Like, you know, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission in my own mind. The things that I have to do that's for me to fulfill my personal legend. You know. Now, let me tell you, the coolest part about this book is obviously it's an awesome book, but let me tell you how this book came to be. Smith, have you got a little thing? Can you read it? Kind of read us about the author, Paulo.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I'm saying this correctly. In 1988, a little-known Brazilian author named Paulo Coelho published a book called The Alchemist, an allegory about a young shepherd in search of his treasure. Coelho had written this profound spiritual novel in just 2 weeks and strongly believed it was destined to be a success. There was only one problem. It didn't sell.
Stop right there.
Got it.
Okay. So there's this Brazilian author. We're probably butchering his name.
Yes.
Coelho, Cielo. Anyway, had this awesome book, this awesome idea. It did not sell. He got it published. He found a publisher published it, put it in bookstores. And this may be about what he's about to read to you, but I want you to pay attention right here. I know Smith's not on camera, but I want you to listen to what he's saying. It took a week to sell the first book. It took another week to sell the second book. And then who knows how long it took to sell the third book. The publisher finally just dropped him This book is a dud. Read, Smith.
Coelho's publisher dropped The Alchemist, which could have easily been the end of his writing career, but Coelho wasn't ready to give up. In his first ever interview on American television, the author tells Oprah on Super Soul Sunday how his 1988 flop became an internationally renowned bestseller, beginning with the sentence that changed the course of his life. There is a sentence in the book that says, "When you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you," he says.
That's good enough right there. So I can thank you, Smith.
No
I was looking for that quote. When you want something, and I don't think he means, I'd like to
do that.
Yeah. But when you want something, we talk about the last week, I think at one point, I have not recommended Think and Grow Rich yet, but everybody needs to read that as well. And there it talks about a burning desire. When you want something so bad that you're willing to do whatever it takes, I truly believe the entire universe is on your side. The entire universe is conspiring for your benefit. I've said that many times. You've heard me say that the entire universe is conspiring for our benefit. When you want something that bad, I absolutely believe that the belief makes it true. And so what Paulo, I think we're probably getting closer to saying that right than his last name. What Paulo did is he got canceled. They dropped him, but he didn't quit. Mm-hmm. He kept looking for a new publicist, a new publisher, and he found one. And one day, Bill Clinton was seen coming out of the White House or at some point, and he had a copy of The Alchemist in his hand. And that started a little thing. And then Madonna was seen carrying the book. And then, so that we don't leave out the right-wing people, there was a, who was it? It may tell us. There was another, it was like a big another big kind of like celebrity advisor who was seen with the book. 150 million copies of The Alchemist have been sold.
Oh, wow.
150 million. So how much do they make per book? I don't know. Let's say it's $1. We make about
it's probably a little more than that.
Probably because we make about $2 when we sell. Actually, we make about $10 when we sell The Art of Text Message Selling on Amazon. We make about $10, but if he makes $1, he's making $150 million from
saying throw your book in the trash.
Yeah. One publicist said, this is garbage. He didn't change anything in the book. It's the same material. The same material got dropped, didn't sell any books. And then because the entire universe was working for his benefit, he sold 150 million books, and it's been translated into 80 different languages.
Wow.
That's crazy. Or 80 different countries. Maybe it's been sold in 80 different countries. I'm not sure there's 80 different.
And his first publicist obviously didn't like the book either. So,
how much of an idiot does that publicist feel like today?
Oh, I would not want to be that person.
That's worse than firing the Beatles or not, or Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my recommended book of today. And you know what? The positive points. Actually, we just talked about them. You said in the beginning of the show, just keep going. You have to persist. I said, help somebody else. When you're not feeling it, when your mojo's not there, help somebody else. That's gonna get your mojo going right there. And just the fact of helping the other person probably is just as big a reason why. You can't outrun karma.
Right.
You can't outrun karma. So, doing the right thing is always the right thing. But then the persistence, you talked about the persistence, man. If Paulo hadn't quit, we wouldn't have the Alchemist. If he had quit, we would not have the Alchemist today.
Right. So,
and that faith, knowing that the entire universe is conspiring for your benefit, is a good thing. Yeah. So I think that's it. Hey, make sure you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Billy W. Merritt on YouTube. I have quite a few subs needed to get to that next level that I'm shooting for. But I know you guys will do it for me. So if you're watching this, if you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. We got to get out of here.
And I was about to say, we can't forget that Trojans are on the way to Locust Grove right now, 4:30 and 7. We gotta have 2 wins today. Cross our fingers. They're on the way. Great group of guys. And if you could just support us today, you can watch on Facebook, I think. I'm not sure. Game Changer will be on. And I'm pretty sure 97.9 will be live for everybody to listen. And we've got 9 seniors that this could be their last day. So we're hoping not.
Yep. Hey, Smith, can you just pop a different background up there real quick? I want to do one more thing that we can use. Go Trojans. Thanks, Candace. Robert Brooker, thanks for all your comments, man. We got to get outside of our own head. You're right about that, buddy. Maybe it's something to just a car or a dealership or something we use. Is there any still images?
Let me see.
It's going to be pretty good. For those of you Trojans for the 2. Yes, indeed, Paul. Paul, we need that. We need a radio spot that's going to match what I'm about to tell you right here.
Just looking for a car or something like that.
Anything.
Right?
Yep. That's fine. So, because here's the deal. This is pretty big what I'm about to tell you about.
Okay.
Or that Facebook image. Anything. It's fine. I don't care. No, something besides the size of the internet browser. There we go. Okay. So last week, you were loving life because I was in Texas.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
April doesn't like me to travel, but we've always been the couple that does whatever it takes, right? Yeah. And one of my favorite dealers, they have been doing some other things, and hey, it's free market economy. Right. I said, no. I'm not giving you up. I'm not giving you up. So I got, I took 2 people with me, and me and Ty and Felipe, who did a great job. We went out there and we set over 120 appointments. Huge day. Before we left there, the entire staff was coming up, high-fiving, hugging. When you coming back? When you coming back? So, as a matter of fact, this week, and this is something that every car dealer needs to know. So, Smith, we can use this copy right here, okay?
Sweet.
This is something that every car dealer needs to know. Inventory is really low across the country. It's harder and harder to get inventory. Well, here's what I'm doing for my favorite dealerships who are having tremendous results. We are doing buyback campaigns. And I don't mean a campaign where we offer buybacks and then sell them a car. Sure, we'll sell them a car, but we need inventory. So my dealers are running ads. Buyback Billy is here for 7 days only. This week only, we're paying huge money for trade-ins. If you ever wanted to get out of your car and have a little cash left over, now's the time to do it. Don't worry about it. If you still own your car, we'll pay your car off. We'll give you the cash. You can take the cash and walk away. There's absolutely no obligation. What's your thoughts on the buyback campaigns?
I think it's awesome.
So we're scheduling a buyback campaign right now for many of our dealers for the first week of the month. Here's our method. We buy 100 appointments. So we buy 50 cars the first half of the month, and then we have a tremendous sell-off at the end of the month while other dealers are fighting over inventory at the auction, seeing who can pay the most. By the way, when you go to the auction and you buy a car, that means you were the person who was willing to pay more than most everybody else. That's not that good of a feeling. However, you can go straight to the public, buy their cars, help them out, and get your inventory without all the auction fees. Buyback Billy, that's what they call me. And we're going to be doing buyback events all summer long. See you guys next week.